Yeah. We about to get crazy for Asian session, baby. You know I'm lazy. No, I'm not a rapper. What's going on, family? What's up, family? What's going on? We have about 2 minutes and 50 seconds before we get this thing on the road. It's your boy Abel, and I'm excited to be here with every single one of y'all, as usual, with another Asian session live. I hope you guys are excited because we had a very interesting morning. Very interesting trading day today. We got a lot to talk about, baby. We got a whole lot to talk about, a whole lot to go over. And we gonna vibe out like we always do. You guys know the vibes. All right, but we're gonna get started, guys, in about 2 minutes and 20 seconds. 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So let's get ready to have another good session. Send this link out if you have people that you guys know trade. If you're a part of any telegrams that are public, free telegrams that you're a part of, that you created, feel free to send this out. All right, let's go ahead and educate people on how to really look at these markets, how to really understand technicals, how to really understand fundamentals, how to really work on your mindset. Because that's what it really takes to get to the bag. And I don't know about y'all. Like I said, I feel like we're going to have another phenomenal session today. Right, so in the meantime, in between time, if you guys can hear my voice, if you guys can see my screen, let me know by dropping your locations in the chat. Let me know by dropping those locations in the chat. I see we got ATL in the building. What's going on, Victoria? Shout out to you for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. We got Norfolk, Virginia in the house. We got the boy Skaggs in the building. Shout out to you. But we're going to get this thing started, guys, in just about one more minute. One more minute and we'll get this thing on the road. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Hey. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Hey. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Hey. 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 Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Hey. Let's get it. I'm going to turn into a rapper for you guys one day. Yes, family, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another session with your boy Abel. Super excited to be here with every single one of you guys, as usual. It's another day we're able to come on here and just get better overall. That's one thing that I truly want you guys to really just focus on more than anything, right? Is just to attempt to get better every single day, right? If you are able to get just 1% better a day, and you do that for the course of a year, 365 days, you have now gotten better 365% over the course of that entire year, right? When you compound getting better 1% a day, that compound interest absolutely will change the game for you. All right, now let me see who we got in the chat today, family. Go ahead and drop your locations if you guys can hear me. Drop your locations if you guys can see my screen. Because like I said, we're going to have another dope session. And if you guys did not watch yesterday's stream, I highly recommend you to go back and rewatch every single stream that I do. Because there's always maybe something new that you can get from these sessions, right, in these streams. Every single day, guys, that I do these sessions and these streams with y'all, right, I really just go off of what I feel at the moment, right? Nothing is, I'm going to be honest, nothing is scripted, right? Like, I don't script these live sessions, right? I really just talk about what I'm really feeling in the moment. I'm really talking about certain things that I'm also pertaining to the charts when I'm looking at that point in time. Nothing is scripted. So I'm able to really provide some crazy value to you guys that I recommend everybody just try to take and pick up, right? Don't try to get as many. Let me say it like this, right? Whenever I try to jump on a session, whenever I jump on a stream, right? Whenever I watch a webinar or a training, The one thing that I really focus on is not to try to pick up every single thing of value. I just try to get that one good piece of information that I could go ahead and take and implement, and then really go ahead and see some change in my trading, right? Because there's probably some of you guys that are actually really good at doing technical analysis, right? That understand fundamentals. There's a lot of you guys, right, that are probably, not too far off from being that success that you really want to be. And what you're actually missing is maybe just one piece of information that you can take from one of these sessions or any video that you find on social media, YouTube, whatever the case may be, that can really change the game for you, right? So don't come in trying to take all of it, right? Because then you're going to overload yourself. But try to figure out that one piece of information that you could take from these streams, these sessions, and then implement that information, and then go ahead and hopefully you see some more results, right? Because I say this all the time, guys, right? The thing that really separates the successful people from the non-successful people is access to information and what they decide to do with that information, right? There was a bar, I can't remember what it was, right? There was a nugget that I said, I believe last week. Let me see if I think I might have wrote it in my notes. But I know I sent it in my Telegram. I gotta find it because it was such a bar. Let me see if I could find it, right? It was such a crazy bar, right, that we said, that I spoke about. And I want to really reiterate it because it was so valuable. Let me see if I could find it real quick, guys. Give me 1 second, right? And in the meantime, continue dropping those locations in the chat. We had a phenomenal stream literally yesterday. I mean, pretty much a lot of the analysis that we gave last night pretty much played out exactly, like I'm talking about exactly how we wanted it to. And it's pretty amazing to see, right? Like my confidence in the markets, guys, has been through the roof lately. And not even lately, it's been through the roof probably for the past year, and it's really just because I've been understanding a lot more fundamentals more than anything, right? Like when you really start to get an understanding of fundamental analysis and use that as a catalyst when you're actually trying to create an opportunity, it does help you out tremendously, right? Because now you're not really trying to just guess based on only technicals, but now you're able to really create confluence from a fundamental and a technical bias, right? But I finally found the quote that I was looking for, right? Like I said, I actually dropped it in my chat, and I'm gonna re-drop it in my Telegram right now, just because it's so freaking, like, it's such a freaking bar, right? And if you're not in part of my Telegram, link in the bio, right? Link in the description, right? It's public Telegram, free Telegram. You'll be officially a part of my outer circle, right? And yeah, I just began to really talking a lot of good sauce, a lot of good value. Right, but that bar, guys, right, what I said is what really separates the people that are successful and not successful, right? It's the application of information that will ultimately lead you to different destinations, right? Because we all have a lot of goals in life. We all want to accomplish certain things, and usually what's stopping us from accomplishing those things is just information and how we apply that information, right? So when it comes to trading, you have to really have a lot, like you have to learn a lot of information, right? Trading is not one of those things, guys, that you're just going to come in and it's going to be a walk in the park, right? Like we're talking about trading being one of the most complex, one of the hardest careers to actually become profitable in. So it's not going to be easy, right? This is something that is going to take time. It's going to take a lot of learning. It's going to take a lot of experience for you to actually see the results. Right, but it's also something that is not impossible, right? We have examples of success all throughout social media, right? I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have been following various mentors, right? Whether you have a direct relationship to them or not is irrelevant, right? Because you have an example of success. If you guys look at me as a quote-unquote mentor, right, as an educator, then guess what? Utilize me as an example of success, of what's possible when you put in the work. Okay, but also do not compare yourself to anybody else's journey neither. Okay, because there's certain things, guys, that a mentor can teach you. There's certain things that an educator can guide you on. But there's also certain things that only you yourself can truly master that can really put you in a better position. Right? Experience is honestly probably going to be the biggest mentor that you guys really have. I want you guys to write this down. This is a nugget. This is such a valuable nugget. Experience is probably going to be your best mentor, especially when it comes to trading. Experience. Because we can tell you exactly what to do. I can give you my exact strategy, literally from top to bottom, which I've done a million times. But just because I give you my exact strategy does not mean you're going to see massive results just yet. Because your experience level is not at the experience level that I'm at. Your experience level is not at the experience level that a lot of people you see that's successful in this field is at. So what separates you from actually getting to that level you want to be at is not just learning the strategy. It's not just learning these basic core things, but it's also having that experience throughout this entire guys, drop an experience in the chat for me, right? Drop experience in the chat because this is very important. Extremely important. And I feel like it's something that is completely overlooked as well. All right, experience. Drop experience in the chat for me. Right, and I ain't even send this link out in the Telegram. So let me go ahead and send this link out in the Telegram group as well. I appreciate every single one of you guys that's already on the call. Shout out to all 60 of y'all. All right, we are deep already. All right, and every single one of y'all that's on this call right now. I appreciate you guys because you guys are also probably a part of Noti Gang, right? That was able to get the notification that I am live right now, right? Because you guys are already on without me even sending it into the Telegram, which is absolutely amazing, right? So I appreciate every single one of you guys that are a part of my Noti Gang. If you guys are not a part of Noti Gang, it's very simple to actually be a part of Noti Gang, right? And trust me, you want to be a part of Noti Gang because I really do this for Noti Gang. I don't do this for the random person that gets this in the recommendation list. I do this for the people that support me. So I want to go ahead and give you, as much value as possible for simply supporting this channel, supporting exactly what my vision is for this opportunity. All right, matter of fact, let's go ahead and speak about this vision, okay? Because the reason why, guys, I took a step back from the previous platform that I was a part of, a big reason, all right, was to eventually come here on YouTube and be able to do my own thing, right? Be in full control of what I wanted to do, right? I'm pretty much in the steering wheel. I have the steering wheel now, right? I'm in the driver's seat of this platform. I didn't have the driver's seat in the other platform. I didn't, right? I was told what to do, how to do it, certain things that I could and could not do, right? And it was super annoying and super stressful. And it didn't make it like you just lose that feeling after a while. You lose that excitement of getting up and providing value, which is something I truly love to do. Like I love doing this. Like I love being able to be, a person that can provide value, right? I love this shit. Like I really do. So now that I'm in the steering, now I'm in the driver's seat with this platform, right? Now that I'm in the driver's seat here, now I can really provide you guys with the value I want to provide. Now I can really say the things that I want to say without having people looking over my shoulder. And that's what I'm excited about more than anything, right? That's why when it comes 10 o'clock at night Eastern, I get excited. And I'm pretty sure you guys can tell because of my energy, right? Like my energy be through the roof on these calls. Like it be so crazy through the roof, guys, that I be having to take a shower after these streams. I'm going to be honest with you because I hate going to sleep and feeling sweaty. Anytime I feel sweat, like I can't sleep. It don't feel good to me, right? So I be having to go take a shower after these sessions because I be hot because all the energy that I put out for y'all. But I feel good about this because, again, like I said, I'm in the driver's seat here. And I'm able to give you guys exactly what you guys need to learn in order for you to really go ahead and get to this bag. Okay, so a few things as well. In order for you to be a part of Noti Gang, it's very simple. You have to be subscribed to the channel. Right, that's the first one. Subscription is key, right? You cannot even comment in this chat unless you are actually subscribed. Now, one thing about me is I'm not going to beg you guys to subscribe. I want to earn your subscription, right? I want to earn it based off the value that I'm giving. So if you do get some type of value from this session, if it's some type of value that just clicks for you, then I would like to earn your subscription. I would like to earn your likes on these videos, right? So that's the first thing. You got to be subscribed to the channel. Excuse me. The second thing, right, is you also have to have notifications turned on so that you're notified on when I actually drop all these videos. There's going to be times, guys, where I do random streams throughout the day, right? But there might be times where I just want to pop on here, you know, in the middle of the day when nobody's expecting it, just so that I could really show value to all my Noti gang members. Because guess what? I won't drop it in the Telegram. Anybody that's going to be on the call is going to be those that get the notification that I'm live. So trust me. Again, if you get value from this call, if you gain any type of value from this session, then I would love to earn your subscription. I would love to earn the fact that you hit the bell and are also excited to receive this type of value and this type of content. All right, I hope that makes a lot of sense, guys. Right, so that's how you be a part of Noti Gang, is by simply being subscribed and have the notifications turned on so that you're notified for every time we drop this video. Let's see what we got in the chat. I see we got Dallas in the building, Jamaica in the house, New York, what's up, New Jersey, what is going on? All right, we got Las Vegas in the building. What is up? What is up? What is up? Let's see. I remember that one song you dropped last year. Shout out to you, Rodney. All right, I did drop a banger last year. I see we got Vermont. Shout out to Kyle in the building. I see you. We got Trinidad and Tobago. I love Trinidad and Tobago. Can't wait to go back. We got Tulsa in the house. We got Dallas. We got Lisa Michelle in the building. Shout out to you, Lisa. I appreciate you, sis, for jumping on. We got Noti Gang. Linda in the house out there in Jersey. What's up? We got North Carolina in the building. Shout out to you, Robert. I see you in the chat. All right, let's see who else we got here, guys. Drop those locations in the building as well, family. Drop your locations if you guys have not done so just yet. Right, very, very important. I see we got Trinidad in the building. Shout out to you guys out there in Trinidad. Like I said, I love the Caribbean islands. I love Trinidad. I was in Trinidad 2 years ago. It's crazy. That was 2 years ago, right? It was 2 years ago? Mm-hmm. Right, we were in Trinidad 2 years ago for a massive trading event. There was about 3,000 people out there, you know, so I was able to speak in front of 3,000 people out there in Trinidad, and it was an absolute vibe. You guys show so much love. The hospitality was through the roof, and it was amazing. I can't wait to go back to Trinidad and Tobago and really just put on for you guys, right? Give you guys another massive event. All right, let's see what we got here. It's about time. God knows how much I missed and love these mini rants. Shout out to you, Jared. I appreciate you, brother. All right, we got the young legend, young lion in the building, Kyle Prasad in the building. All right, family, anybody that you guys see with a blue on their name and the little wrench, right? Those are my moderators. Those are my guys. Those are also people that are building up their own YouTube channels and are also providing a ton of value, free content as well. So I highly recommend you guys to go ahead and search them in the search bar and start to subscribe to their channels as well, because they're also about to really start being consistent on YouTube and just providing you guys with extra value, right? So I appreciate you, Kyle and Skaggs, for being on here. I see we got Alabama in the building. Tina Davis, I appreciate you. You've been on my calls, I mean, for a while now, and it definitely means a lot to me. I see we got Nigeria in the building. We got Barbados, Houston. We got Baltimore, baby, in the building. I see you, Bert. What's up? We got Chattanooga in the house. What's going on, Tierra? Good to see you. All right, we got Nigeria in the house. What is up? What is up? New here, sub last night. Louisiana. Shout out to you, Z. I appreciate you for being in the building. All right, I'm grateful that I was able to earn your subscription. All right, it really means a lot to me. We got Dallas, Texas. Jabari in the house. Shout out to you, Jabari. I appreciate you tuning in again. All right, we got New York in the building. Shout out to every single one of y'all. Right, I always have a warm heart and a warm place in my heart for New York, because that's where I'm originally from. Right, I currently live in North Carolina, but I was born and raised in upstate New York. Shout out to the 518. Shout out to the Schenectady, right, my hometown. I love you guys. I appreciate y'all. And yeah, right, so I love New York as well. All right, so let's go ahead and get in what we want to talk about today, guys, right? So if you guys were not on yesterday's stream, like I said, I highly recommend you guys to go watch that, because it was absolutely fire. You know, we spoke about a lot. Like, we was on there for about an hour and a half, a little bit over an hour and a half, just really just going in, right? We talked about fundamentals. We talked about technicals. We talked about mindset. We talked about, you know, I mean, we had a lot of stuff that we really talked about. Like, do you guys agree with me? Was last night's session fire, guys, or am I the only one that thought so? All right, if you guys were on last night's stream, right, was it fire or am I bugging? All right, because I felt like last night's stream, I mean, even the one on Tuesday, right, was fire. That just actually reminded me. All right, let me do something real quick before I forget. All right, that actually just reminded me. All right, what I was supposed to do before I started this stream. Give me 1 second. All right, you guys are going to see something pop up on the screen. Live Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. All right, so everybody knows when I'm live. At 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because I'm on the East Coast, right? Live every, right? Make sure everybody knows the every, right? Let me make sure I get this right so you guys, so everybody that's new on the call knows exactly when I go live, knows exactly when these streams are gonna be up and jumping. Because again, this is gonna be some value, family, that I feel like everybody really should take advantage of, right? So let me know if last night's stream was absolutely fire, or am I the only one that's thinking that? Because I feel like last night's stream was absolutely next level, right? So much value provided. Right, let's see who else we got. We got Kenya in the house. Shout out to you guys out there in Kenya. Shout out to you guys in the UK. Anybody that's overseas, guys, in the UK, you know, Kenya, you know, I know for a fact that you guys are super motivated to learn this, because it's in the morning. It's like it's nighttime over there, right? In the UK, what time is it in the UK? What, 3 o'clock in the morning? 3 o'clock in the morning over there? Right, if you're in the UK, can you please confirm that for me? Right, I believe it's around 3 a.m. because I think you guys are 5 hours ahead of us. So 3 a.m., right? Something like that. So if you're in the UK, or if you're overseas, right? If you're overseas in the UK, what time is it over there in Kenya, D Sheriff? Right? Like drop those times right now, right? Because that just shows dedication on your guys' behalf. That you guys are up right now. You guys could be sleeping, right? You guys could be doing so much other things, right? But you guys are right now on the stream, right? With the intentions of truly wanting to learn. And that's absolutely amazing to me. All right? Really amazing. Right, I see we got the 315 in the building. Shout out to you, Victoria. I see we got Wisconsin, Birmingham, Alabama. All right, it's been fire all week. It was fire. I appreciate that. We got Sam in the building. Shout out to you, Sam. I appreciate you. Always fire. All right, Yatu Sabe, Chicago in the house. What's going on? Shout out to you guys out there in Chicago. Shout out to my Chicago squad. I appreciate y'all. We got Houstonian in the building. Again, Houston is definitely one of my favorite cities. Right, I love Arizona and I love Texas as well. Right, so like if I end up leaving North Carolina, it's probably going to be the three spots. For me, it'll be Miami, right? It will be Houston, or it will be Phoenix, Arizona, right? Like those three are just like, I love those locations for some reason. That's just a vibe out there. Let's see what else we got here. It's 5:30 a.m. out there in Kenya. Shout out to you, man. That's absolutely amazing. You guys are just now starting to wake up. It's 3 a.m. in Nigeria. That's amazing. Shout out to you guys out there. Right, we got Florida in the building. We got Connecticut in the building. What is up? What is up? You kept calling it a rant. I felt like it was pure trading psychology. I appreciate that, Bert. You know, because I be going on them little blunders, right, where I just start blabbing and talking and just vibing with y'all. Because that's really what this is for me. Like this right here, right? Like these streams that I'm providing, guys, like, again, nothing is scripted, right? So I really just go off the vibe. I go off your guys' questions. I go off your guys' comments. I'm one of those people, one of those educators. If you have never, ever seen me educate before, if this is your first time on one of my live streams, right, this is your time to really go ahead and start talking, right? Because I'm not one of those educators that shies away from answering questions. I'm not one of those educators or mentors, guys, that discourages people from talking. Like, no, right? Nothing is scripted here, right? I really go off of what you guys are speaking, the questions that you guys ask, the help that you guys need with, and typically some type of questions end up leading to me, you know, going in one of my rants. That's usually a lot of trading psychology that really is the most important part to this whole thing, right? So I appreciate every single one of y'all, all right? I see we already smacked 100 in the call as well, which is absolutely amazing. Shout out to every single one of y'all that's on here. Right, I see we got Nigeria, 3:28 in the morning. That is absolutely crazy. Shout out to you guys out there that are on right now. We got Ohio in the building. We got Florida, Connecticut. What's up? Phoenix is beautiful but so boring. Yep, it could be boring for sure. But I'm a family man, right? So I'm out of the partying life. So I like boring. I like boring, right? We got Oklahoma City in the building. What is up, Bajorn? How are you doing? All right, we got Ohio in the house as well. Sort of. All right, let's see. Keep that vibe, bro. Everything you were saying, I was thinking, so it helps me. It helps also all of us. I appreciate that. In fact, this is why I follow you, and you keep it real always. Right. So again, let's get into the charts, guys. Right. So again, we talked about a lot yesterday, and one of the first things that we talk about, one thing that I always talk about to really start a session, is really looking at the dollar index itself, looking at the dollar as a whole. Just because I trade predominantly dollar pairs, and I'm just very big on the dollar just because it is the currency reserve of the world, right? You can really figure out a lot of different opportunities when you're trading other currency pairs or certain assets by simply just looking at what the dollar is currently doing. Now, when I do look at the dollar index, guys, which is an index that measures the strength of the US dollar against a bucket of other currencies, I also don't just really look at technical analysis. Okay, one thing that you guys will learn about me is that I do try to attempt to implement as much fundamental analysis as possible, because fundamental analysis, guys, it's what dictates the long-term direction for these markets. Okay, long-term bias, you're gonna really be able to figure that out by understanding fundamentals. Okay, so the way that I personally trade and the way that I approach the markets is I create a fundamental bias first, and then I align my technicals with what my fundamentals are telling me. Okay, I'm not like most of these 99% of traders on here, especially on YouTube, that only look at things from a technical perspective. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. There are, successful traders that solely trade technicals, but for me, right, my trading has tremendously improved once I really started understanding exactly what the hell is going on in this world. So I highly recommend you guys to really start taking it so much more seriously. So we also talked about yesterday, guys, we talked about the dollar index. And what did I tell you guys yesterday? Right, on yesterday's session, I told you guys that I expected the dollar to really go ahead and continue to roll over. Right now, at the beginning of this week, or it was actually at the end of last week, let's see. Yeah, the beginning of this week. Right, at the beginning of this week, I told you guys that I was expecting more strength for the dollar to come in. Right, and the reason for that was because we ended up breaking structure. The dollar has been absolutely on fire for, the past year and a half to 2 years now. Right, and I like to stay with the momentum because that's going to be the easiest way to actually be profitable. Right, one thing that you can do, especially if you're struggling as a trader, is to stay with the current trend of a market. Right, yes, you can counter trend trading and catch some plays here and there, but you're always going to have the best chance of being right. Right, you're going to get the best probabilities when you're riding with the current momentum of the market. So we were looking at the market to potentially continue going higher. But one thing I always teach you guys as well is that once data changes, right, whether it's fundamental data or whether it's technical data changes, you have to be able to adjust. The market conditions, guys, are always changing, which is why your strategy might work for a certain period in time, but a different season in life can happen, or a different season comes, and now your strategy seems like it's not working at all. You as a trader, you have to be able to adjust to the ever-changing market conditions. A big reason why trading Forex is so complicated and so hard is because there's so many different factors that move price. Right, especially from a fundamental standpoint. We have hundreds of different news releases that happen every single week. And every single one of those news releases, although some are more impactful than others, they mean something. Right, they are going to influence these currencies one way or another. So as the data changes from a technical or fundamental, you have to be able to adjust, right? So at the beginning of this week, I was thinking, man, we might actually see more continuations. I want to stay with the momentum before anything. But once we've seen price actually go ahead and change course and end up dropping all the way down below, back below our level of structure here at around 104 level, and we also ended up breaking structure from our actual last impulsive move, that was a change of market structure. That was a change of momentum. Okay, that's what I like to call a structural shift and a momentum shift in this market. So because of that, we ended up going from saying, man, the dollar might continue bullish, to now saying, all right, you know what? We have a little bit more data showing. We might have to change our bias and now start to expect more downside in the markets. I hope that makes sense. All right, so we got Houston in the building, Brooklyn in the building. Shout out to everybody out there in BK. I appreciate y'all. Do you trade futures? I do not trade futures. All right, I do not trade the futures market, but I would love to eventually. All right, it would be dope. Right, so we ended up changing our bias. Right, and last night I told you guys, I'm like, man, I'm expecting price to come back up to this level up here, and then eventually roll over to the downside and come and target this equal low scenario that we had here, because we probably had a lot of built up liquidity below these lows. Price did exactly just that, right? And it's not that I'm psychic, guys. I'm not, like I said, I'm not one of these people with a big head saying, oh yeah, I knew this or that, It was all probabilities. The probability for price to roll over to the downside was much higher, in my opinion, than it was to continue higher, based off of the price action that we're seeing here. Okay, let me say that one more time, because this is key here, right? Everybody talks about price action, trade price action, and market structure, but a lot of people don't know how to really do it. Okay, when I seen price go from this strong push up to then eventually rolling all the way back over, breaking below key levels of structure, breaking below this structure level right here, and breaking the range that we had created, that is price action telling me that bearish momentum could now be in control. And when we have that type of price action showing, it's in our best ability, it's in our best interest to stay with that data and ride that data. So we seen price give us that push down. We broke structure to the low end. We have to see a correction, because we always see a correction. After every impulse, there's always a correction. And then we seen price ultimately continue back lower. Now, for the meantime, guys, I would love to see more downside for the USD. Okay, I would love to see some more bearishness for the USD. So not only were we looking at it from a technical standpoint, right, of price possibly continue, but what did we have? What was it? Was it yesterday? I think it was Tuesday, right? We had data on Tuesday, right, that also came out. That also was telling me that we can expect a weaker dollar, right? Because retail sales came out positive, right? Core retail sales actually came out higher than predicted, right? Retail sales itself came out right as projections, right as predicted, right? That, in my opinion, the way that I interpret this type of fundamental news is that that's going to bring optimism in the markets. And when there's optimism in the markets, right, investors typically like to go ahead and go from cash back into certain investments, back into certain equities, and back into the equity markets, right? Because a big thing that a lot of people get confused when it comes to trying to figure out what can happen for the dollar based off fundamentals, keep it simple, right? It's either investors are going to be sitting on cash, okay? It's either investors are going to be sitting on cash. I'm going to draw out an ugly looking dollar sign, right? Investors are either going to decide to sit on cash, or they're going to decide to go ahead and be invested in a specific asset or a specific market, right? These are the two decisions that investors really have, right? When they're trying to obviously grow their capital. Now, what do you think causes the investors to go ahead and get cash heavy? Right, when there's a lot of fear in the markets, right? When there's a lot of chaos in the markets, right? When we have a lot of fear, investors will rather sit on cash as opposed to dealing with a risk on asset, like dealing with stocks or things like that, right? But when there's the opposite side of it, right? And when there's optimism in the markets, I'm definitely going to spell this completely wrong. Optimism. How do I spell optimism? Somebody help me in the chats. There we go. I believe that's right. If I'm not, then don't hate me. Don't judge me, right? You don't got to be that smart to actually be a trader. That's a fact, right? But when there's optimism in the markets, investors will rather be invested so that they can see their cash grow as opposed to actually sitting on cash. Okay, these are things that we have to understand, guys, because when most traders look at, say, a positive news release like core retail sales, in their mind, they're thinking, okay, that's positive for the US dollar. Let's be real. How many of us thought that way? Because I used to think that way, right? I had my mentors go ahead and really break this stuff down for me, right? Because this is important, right? How many of us thought that way, right? If we have positive data for the dollar, right, because it says USD, right? Typically, we look at that and say, man, that's really positive for the currency itself. And typically, it's usually not like that. Again, I'm not saying it's always going to be, but typically, guys, if we see positive data, that brings optimism to the markets, which would have investors want to go ahead and be invested into the equities, into indices, into some type of asset that they feel like can allow their currency to grow. But when there's fear in the markets because projections didn't come out, like if retail sales would have came out much lower than was predicted, right? If retail sales came out less than what was predicted, then I would have been expecting the dollar to continue in a bullish trend, right? Because with those miss of projections and retail sales coming out lower, then that could have possibly had investors be more fearful of the state of the economy, right? Because investors really only make money when the economy's growing, okay? Which again, we're all dealing with inflation right now. We're dealing with things like interest rates going up, which is already causing a lot of fear in the markets. But with retail sales still going up, that means people are still spending money even with inflation the way that it is. So that could bring some type of optimism, which which some investors will rather actually be invested into the markets at that point because of that. Right? Again, this is the things that we need to understand. Right? Like and again, I don't mean anything that I say is never out of a disrespect, right? Everything that I say is more so just really trying to put you guys on game. But it really, I'm not even gonna say it. All right, we don't keep that thought to myself. Right, I might say it later. Right, but just to be aware, guys. Understand how to read this data and how to interpret it as a Forex trader. Because if you want to be a Forex trader, but you do not know what's going on in the world, that doesn't make no sense to me. If you want to be a Forex trader, if you want to trade a market that is heavily influenced by the economics that are occurring in the world, then it doesn't make sense to me. Right? I don't know. And again, this just might be me, but I look at traders a little differently now. Right? I really do, because we're trading a market that's heavily influenced by fundamentals, but yet we don't want to trade fundamental analysis. That don't make sense. Right? Whenever any profession that you're doing, this is a serious question, right? With any profession that you want to be a part of, at least for me, whenever I'm a part of any profession, I want to make sure that I learn all the ins and outs of that profession so that I can do my job at the highest level possible. How many of you guys agree with that? Right? How many of you guys agree with that? Right? When you guys want to do a profession, don't you guys want to do that profession at the highest level possible? Or am I the only one? Right? Because when I do anything in life, and this is just me, I might have that perfectionism, right? Where I want to make sure I do everything to the best of my ability, at the best of my ability. Right? So if you want to do trading to your best of your ability, then you have to understand the things that are really causing price to move. Trend lines is not what causes price to move. I mean, technically it does, because there's certain tools and patterns that, entities like to utilize. But the main mover of these markets is data. It's data, news, fundamental events. So if you really want to take this and be a perfectionist and really take advantage of what this market has to offer, then you have to start understanding what's happening from a fundamental standpoint. I'm just saying. All right, let's see what we got here. It took me a while for that to click. Positive news doesn't always mean it's positive for the currency. Yeah. There's emotion attached to the results as well. Sometimes when the market expects the good data, it'll fall simply because it wasn't as shocking, it was priced in. That's also very true as well. Right? That's actually a very good point that Skaggs brought up. Right? Another thing as well, and I got to bring this up. Right? How many of us heard, what is it? The cliche saying, sell the news, or buy the rumor, sell the news. Buy the rumor, sell the facts. Right? Because that's also very, very true as well. Right? Because everything that I'm telling you guys right now, you don't think these analysts, these big hedge fund traders understand this stuff too? Right? So you also want to make sure that when you are trying to create sentiment from a fundamental standpoint, that you're actually trying to be ahead of the game. Right? You also want to make sure that you are trading the rumors, not the facts. Because if you're trying to trade the facts, then it's already too late to the party. Right? Which is why I say sometimes positive data, it could send the dollar stronger. It might, just because it was already priced in before. Right? So we really got to get in the habit of also, when we do understand there's a major news event coming, right? There's certain catalysts, right? Certain catalytic moves, certain catalytic news events that occur all the time. Right? We want to be able to trade the rumors based off what is expected, not the facts of the actual release. Right? Because we don't know what's the actual facts until it actually gets released, obviously, right? So we got to start positioning ourselves before it comes out. Right? That is also very cool. Very, very important. I see positive news doesn't always mean it's positive for the currency. Do you mean for the base currency? He's talking about for the currency as a whole. All right, like let's say we have what's our next major news event, right, that we have coming up? Let me see. I mean, we had initial job claims earlier today. Was that? Yeah, that was earlier today. Let me actually refresh this. I ain't even refreshed this all day yet. All right, I hope this is making sense though, guys, right? Because this is very, very important. All right, very, very important. Let me see what the numbers came out as. All right, let's see. Dress for the job you want, not the job you have. Yep, mediocre habits is not an option, exactly. Like a wise man once said, it's the application of information that will lead you to a greater destination. I love that. That is such a bar. It's crazy. That is such a nugget. All right, that is such a freaking nugget. Right, so initial jobless claims, right, actually came out negative. All right, very, very interesting, right, data. Let's see. What's up, Abel? 3:45 a.m. here in the UK, and you dropping bombs on here as always. Shout out to you, Comic Book Matt. I appreciate you for tuning in, especially anybody, like I said, anybody overseas, man, where it's pretty much in the middle of the night where you can be sleeping. I got so much love and respect for y'all, right, because you guys are doing exactly what you need to do to really get to the bag. All right, but look at this. All right, initial jobless claims measures the number of individuals who filed for unemployment insurance for the first time during the past week. They were predicting 200,000 people to file unemployment. It came out much higher. Again, this is the first time I'm actually looking at this. I ain't look at the calendar all day, besides this morning, because I was being a father all day, right? Especially after school. You know, my kids had like a little, I don't even know what it was. It was like a little field day / picnic type thing. So, but this is interesting, right? Jobless claims were actually higher, right? More people filed for unemployment than they were actually expecting, and more people filed for unemployment than the previous month or the previous time this data was released. Now, how would we interpret this type of information to the actual markets? Right? Is a higher number of unemployment a positive thing for an economy or a negative thing for the economy? Let me know in the chat. All right, what do you guys think? Right? And again, do not try to correlate, right? Do not try to correlate economy and currency, because sometimes those are completely different things, right? It's usually investors have to choose between one or the other as to like what they want to do. Let's see. What about NFT? Yeah, non-farm payroll is a big one, right? It happens every single month, first Friday of every month. Let's see. Stay woke. More unemployed people plus more retail spending. That's interesting, right? That's a very interesting. Now, Skag, give me your opinion on that. All right, give me your opinion. All right, what do you think about that? I know you. I love your insights from a lot of these aspects, right? Because this is pretty interesting. Like again, more unemployed people, but yet retail spending still went higher, right? So we have more people that are not employed, but yet more spending has occurred. That's interesting, right? But yeah, guys, typically this is looked at as negative for the economy. If it's negative for the economy, right, then typically there is a possibility where the dollar could possibly increase because of that. But we also had retail sales that came out, right, that showed more spending, right? So we're at a very interesting point where we have pretty much like conflicting data, right? That could be looked at as one is positive and one is negative, right? One can cause the dollar to increase in value based off fear, right, which is the unemployed people, but another one can cause optimism because people are spending still. It's very interesting. Right, let's see, people just being people, they have more time so they spend more. But according to the day, they also can't afford to do so. Recession type stuff, yeah. Right, we're at a very interesting time, guys, right? So again, that's just my little theory on fundamentals. Like I said, there's so much to learn from it. Like I said, I'm not the best by far. Like, I don't try to claim to be the best. But I do try to at least get better, every single day, every single month. I try to improve and just really try to use data to the best of my ability, right? But let's go ahead and really take a look at the markets and see what we can possibly find. Let's see. But if more unemployed people getting funds from the government, they still have money to spend. Yeah, that's true. All right, that is true. All right, especially with unemployment checks, they're going to take that money. And this is the thing, like, the government also knows that people are consumers. Right? Why do you think they're raising interest rates? Right? It's because they're trying to stop people from spending. Right? Them raising interest rates is literally a tactic that they use to try to stop people from spending money. And I'm not just talking about just every regular people neither. Yeah, us as well, but they want people to stop spending money. They want people to stop lending money or stop going to the bank and asking for credit and all this good stuff, which is why they're causing all that stuff to become more expensive. Right, it's more expensive now to get a mortgage. Right, mortgage rates are now at what, 5% or something like that, when just 6 months ago it was so much lower. Right, so interest rates are going up to combat inflation, because as long as people keep on spending money and spending money and spending money, then inflation is not going to go nowhere. I'm just saying. Right? Let's see, people keep spending like another stimulus package is coming. Yeah. I mean, if a recession happens, I wouldn't be surprised if they do. And that's just going to really send us not into a recession, but then we're going to go into like a depression. That's going to be crazy. Right? So again, the dollar itself, guys, for now, all right, I would really love to see more downside for the dollar. Right? My prediction is I would love to see the dollar eventually reach around the 100 level. Right, and then if we break down 100 level, then we definitely have a lot more downside, possibly to around, my prediction will be, maybe around these 99 levels. Right, just using structure for the time being to identify potential areas of targets of where we can see this thing possibly go. Right, but I would love to see more downside for the dollar itself. Now, I will change my bias on the dollar if we do see price end up rallying higher, breaking back above this 104 level, right? If we break back above 104 for whatever reason, then at that point I'm changing my bias and I'm going to be expecting more upside in the dollar. But for now, I'm still expecting more sell side, more downside for the dollar for the time being. All right, and if it changes, then we'll go ahead and rechange it. But again, keep in mind, guys, what did we really talk about yesterday, right? So we had a few ideas that we spoke about yesterday, right? I actually sent out 2 ideas in my Telegram as well, and it all went phenomenal, right? So the first idea that we talked about yesterday, guys, was gold. I told you guys I was pretty much in a buy position on gold pretty much all day yesterday, right? Literally all day, right? It happened overnight where gold finally decided to pop off. But just like gold, gold is a fan favorite because of how volatile it is, right? So we were, I don't know if any of y'all took it, but, I was negative a good 40 pips on gold at one point, 50 pips. But then by the morning time, this thing went up a good 200-300, right? Gold moves fast, which is why a lot of people look at it, right? Which is why a lot of people love it, right? This thing is super volatile. Right, so what I think can happen now for gold, and again, this is what I've been saying now, right? Because of where we at, we found this demand zone down here for gold at around 1790, right? And we gave us a very, very good reaction off of 1790, and now we're seeing more upside, right? If we're able to go ahead and break this 1850 level, right? And I would love to see more upside for gold to continue, right? I think, and I could be wrong, and I'm fine if I'm wrong. One thing about me, like I said, is I don't care if I'm wrong. It is what it is. It's a part of the game, right? You're not going to be right 100% of the time. It's impossible, right? But I think we could really see price start to reach all the way up towards the 1900 levels for gold. So going into tonight, if I was looking to trade it, I will be looking for buying opportunities for gold. Okay, a few levels that we can keep our eyes on, right? The first one is going to be this level of structure right here that we have. All right, previous level of structure right here, previous level of support turned into previous level of resistance. Price can come right back down to here, act as a previous or a newfound level of support, use the moving average as confluence, and then price could really start to trend higher from that level. Right, so that's going to be the first area I'm going to be keeping my eyes on. If price breaks this 1830 level, right, if we go below that level, then I'm thinking just a deeper correction. And then we could possibly look for some more buy opportunities. I really like, I will say around this 1819, 1820 level, right? And then around 1819, 1820, that's another area that I will be looking for some more buying opportunities. Right, so that's what I'm going to be looking for, guys, going into tomorrow morning. Now, I don't trade London session, right? I actually enjoy my sleep, unfortunately, or that's fortunate for me, all right? Because, you know, I used to stay up for London session. Like my first few years in trading, again, for those of you guys that are new, you know, I've been trading for over 7.5 years now, right? I've been teaching for the past around 4 or 5 years, all right? So I have a little bit of experience. I'm not the most tenured trader, right? But I definitely have a lot of experience compared to, you know, a lot of people, right? Because this whole Forex niche really blew up over the past, you know, 6-7 years is when it really blew up. And now everybody's allowed to trade it, right? So I definitely have a lot more experience than most people, right? So with that said, though, these are the areas that I'm really going to be looking for. And we'll be playing off of it, right? Right here is going to be my first area. Like I said, I really think that this 1830 level, 1832 could really be an attractive area, you know, to see some buys off of. But if that one doesn't work out, then I'll be looking at around 1820 for some upside, right? But, you know, I made an absolute bag on gold, guys, literally overnight, right? Because we had this buy that I showed you guys yesterday, right? Like I told you guys, I'm very transparent. I told you guys I was in drawdown all last night. But we woke up to a bag. All right, let me go ahead and catch up with these chats real quick. Gold was busting today. Yeah, it definitely was. Yo, shot calling USDCAD on the long side, right? I'll take a look at USDCAD, right? I'm actually gonna look at it next because we caught a bag on USDCAD as well. Let's see. Abel, can you talk a little bit about Luna? Is it gone for good? I mean, that's I really don't know, right? That's something that I really do not know. Luna was at one point worth billions and billions of dollars. You know, today is pretty much worthless. You know, so I don't know. That's a tough one. All right, that is a tough one. I know they have plans in place. You know, they're talking about possibly forking the block or creating a whole new blockchain, right? I mean, there's so many different rumors around it now. I personally am gonna avoid it. All right, that's just me, right? I'm gonna avoid Luna. All right, just because I mean the risk to reward is massive though. All right, like if Luna is able to either fork or create a real recovery plan and it does bounce back, we're talking about, you know, the price of Luna right now is way under a penny. Right, all-time high was like almost $100-200. All right, so even if it gets to $1 at the price that it's at now, that would be 100,000x, right, which is crazy. So the risk to reward is there, but I'm good on dealing with it. Let's see, we have to spend, and spending went up due to inflation. We have no choice because we have the basic needs. Yep, 100% true. The trajectory of the S&P 500 skyrocketed post-COVID. We're just seeing some shockwaves of the effects of everything returning to normal. Yep, that could be it. All right, let's see. Do you ever look at the currency heat wave? I mean, I used to, but any of those like currency heat waves or those, you know, currency meters, like those are cute and all, but that's not going to help you predict future price action, right? If you trade maybe something like options, right? Like if you're trading like binary options, then yeah, you can utilize it to your advantage, right? Because it's showing you current strength. but it's not helping you predict future strength, right? If that makes sense. Okay, it helps you see current strength, but not future strength. Okay, so I personally don't look at it. I read the legal team for Luna resigned. Yeah, I'm good on Luna. Let's see, Luna will never get back to $1 without burning supply, which will come from whoever holds it. Yeah, exactly. I feel like it's like a sinking ship at this point. All right, so let's go take a look at a few setups, guys, that we actually called out last night live on the stream as well. Right, so the first opportunity that we talked about was USDJPY. Unfortunately, I mean, this is the exact markup that we called out yesterday. Literally missed my sell limit by maybe 10 pips or so, right? I did miss it by a little bit. But yeah, you know, it didn't end up going to where I wanted it to, right? Where I would love to actually get an entry from. But this thing did end up tanking like crazy, right? So I actually did end up missing this trade. So no harm, no foul. But I do want to see, again, if I think that the dollar is going to remain bearish, then I would love to see more downside for USDJPY. Let me actually go back and take a look at the bigger picture here and see where we're ultimately at. Right, I mean, we are at this demand zone, right? I also told you guys yesterday, right? And again, this is all stuff like I said, if you were on the call yesterday, I'm pretty sure you can remember this stuff, right? I also told you guys yesterday, which is why it's highlighted. You know, when we get down to this circle right here, right, down to this area of demand, you know, we could see a really, really good reaction from price from this level. All right, and look at what price did. You know, it sniped right back into that level, and now we're starting to see price push up, right? So because of that, right, I'm probably going to be on the sidelines for UJ for now, right? I really want to see how price ends up reacting, you know, around these levels of structure that we have up here, right, around 128,400, 128,500. If we're able to really come up to these levels and start to get bearish structure to come in, then you never know, right? We might be able to really see price, you know, go ahead and really shift over to the downside. That's a possibility, but I'm also not going to really, like, I'm not going to, how do I want to put this, right? Like, this is a very strong level. This is a strong demand zone, right? Last time price, you know, when price created this demand zone, look at the reaction that we've seen, right? Price absolutely just shot up crazy. So there is a possibility, guys, for price to really give us a very similar reaction for UJ, right? Where we come to this demand zone and there's just a lot of buyers waiting and we see a very, very strong reaction, which is why I'm just going to be very, very cautious with UJ and see how price reacts. You know, if I really should have just put a sell limit down here in this demand zone because, again, I expected price to react off of there, something we talked about yesterday. But I was just more so looking for that sell, which it happened. We just missed it. Right, so for UJ, guys, I'm probably going to be more on the sidelines for UJ. I just really nothing that I'm personally going to be interested in. Unless we actually end up clearing this demand zone, then I might expect more downside. We did end up breaking this smaller level of structure right here, right, which could also lead to more upside potential, right? So I'm just, if I'm being honest, like, I think we could really see more upside potential for UJ. That's just what I'm leaning towards right now, right? So going into tonight, going into tomorrow, I would not be surprised if we did see price, you know, start to actually go ahead and shift higher. Right, that's just for now. Again, things can change very, very quickly. You know, again, we are going into London session, New York session. This pair is going to go crazy. Right, so depending on what happens, you know, we could see more upside. But for now, I think we could really see price probably come down around to this 127,500 level. And around this 127,500, you know, we might really see price start to push back up higher. Right, so that's pretty much where I'm at for UJ. Very interesting setup, though. You know, I'm just going to be on the sidelines for this one. All right, I missed my initial trade, which was a sell-off, and it is what it is. You know, no big deal. All right, let's go take a look at UCAD, right? UCAD is something that we did catch, right? Another phenomenal banger. Overall, it really didn't give us the strong move that we were looking for, right? I think at one point we were up around 50 pips, 60 pips. You know, if this markup decides to show up any second now, it will be amazing, right? But we ended up having a shorting opportunity. There it is. Right, we ended up having a shorting opportunity for USDCAD right from this level, and price ended up dropping, like I said, around 40-50 pips. I wanted to see price really break this support, but it's been holding really, really strong. Right, this support has really, really been holding pretty strong. Right, so I'm not sure what's gonna happen now. Right, I still would love to see more downside for it, but the way this support is holding, we might really start to see price come right back to where we had our initial entry. And if you look at, you know, my initial second markup that I had up here, based off this type of price action, and if we're able to really break above, I would say this zone right here, this 128.5 level, if we actually end up going above that level, then I'm expecting more upside for USD CAD as well, right? We can possibly really see price go all the way up to around the 128, I would say 1.2925 level, right? That's pretty much where I think we could really see price come up to 1.2925. You know, just if we end up breaking above this 1.2850 level. If we break above it, then we're probably going to go up to around 1.2925. All right, so do I have an opportunity right now, like an actual setup that I'm looking for? Again, maybe a short-term buying opportunity. Like maybe. Right now I'm on the smaller time frames for you guys, but you know, maybe a short-term buying opportunity, like maybe looking for a buy off, and again, we're very, very close to it already, but maybe a buy off this 1.2820 to go higher. But even that, like I'm leaning towards not even trading this one either. All right, because I really like opportunities that are very clear to me. Price can do either or. Price can bounce up higher here, or it can really go ahead and continue lower. All right, it really can. Right, so for me, I'm still holding my position that I was initially in. I am at break even right now. Right, again, it was up at 50 pips, so I ended up closing partials, but I'm at break even right now. Right, so I can't lose either way on this position. So I'm just going to continue holding it. Right, but other than that, there's really nothing else that I would be interested for USD CAD either. I'm just going to let this position play out that I'm already in, and we'll see what happens. Right, we'll let it play out, and we'll deal with the consequences, whether they're good or bad. Right, it is what it is. Right, again, remember, we want to focus on the things that we can control, not focus on the things that we can't control. We can't control on what the market ends up doing. Right, that's out of our control. Right, the market gonna do what it wants to do regardless. Right, that's completely out of our control. Right, but overall, if this thing ends up tanking from right here, that will be clutch. All right, that will be amazing. But if it doesn't happen, it is what it is. I really don't care. All right, so let's take a look at a few other ones, guys. Euro USD was another one. Again, did exactly what we wanted it to, exactly what we expected it to. You know, it abs, like, look at the arrows. Again, this is all markups, guys, that we did from last night. All right, look at the arrows, right? We expected price to really go ahead and break above this level, right? This 1.05 level and really just take off. And, I mean, this thing just absolutely went bonkers. So, if we are going to see, right, some more upside or bearish weakness, or for the dollar, if we're going to see dollar weakness, that I still expect more bullishness for this, right? So for Euro USD, what I'm going to be looking for going into tonight, right, because this is something that I'm actually probably going to be looking to take advantage of, right, if we're able to get an entry, right? I would love to really see price come down to around this 1.0525 level, right? If we're able to see price come to 1.0525, then I'll be interested in really taking some opportunities higher. Right, it's either going to be off that 1.0525 level that we see a strong bullish reaction, right? Or it can be off of this 1.05 level flat, right? Straight round psychological number, right? But off of one of these areas, I really think we're going to see price go higher. A reason why I like this 1.025 is because, for one, we have this order block right here that was created, right? Order block just shows you a lot of momentum being built up in this zone, in this area, and then price just shoots up. And that order block is also significant because it broke this last push down right here, right? We had this last sell off that was created. Price started to correct from that sell off. We pushed up to retest that level, and then we had the order block created and then a massive break of structure. So there is a possibility for price to come right back to that level and give us a potential entry to really go ahead and continue higher. Right, so around that level, that's really going to be an area that I'm really going to be keeping my eyes off, or keep my eyes on going into tonight, risking around 1%. And if we get it, we get it. If we don't, we don't. If we win, we win. If we lose, we lose. Right, that's really how you just gotta. That's how you gotta approach it. Okay, really how you gotta approach it. Let's see. Can you clarify the use of time frames? How long to expect to hold positions? Right, that's a good question. Right, so when it comes to time frames and time frame correlations and all that good stuff, right, understand that time frames is just another tool that you can use to really try to help you out, right? Time frames is just another tool that you utilize. Now, depending on what type of trader that you are, it's going to tell you what type of time frames to focus on. If you are a swing trader, then you have to focus on the bigger picture, the daily, the 4-hour time frames to really figure out long-term bias. Right now, if you're a day trader, same thing, right? Even day trading, you could focus maybe on 4-hour, 1-hour time frames to figure out bias for the day, right? If you're a scalper, then you want to focus on maybe 15-minute and 1-hour time frame to figure out what the bias or the trend is for that day or for that period in time. It doesn't matter for me personally. It doesn't matter what type of trader you are. You should still always be looking to enter on the smaller time frames if you can. Okay, if you can without getting emotional, you still want to enter on the 5-minute time frame, 15-minute time frame for any style of trading that you do. That's just what that's what I would do, right? But if you are a very emotional trader, then taking a trade on the higher time frame will probably be easier for you. If you're an emotional trader, okay, if you know that your entry points and finding entries you become very emotional with, because on a lower time frame you see a lot of noise in the markets get extremely choppy, they start bouncing up and down, all that good stuff, right? That causes people to become emotional just seeing actually price move that way. So take a trade on the higher time frame if need be. Just make sure that you are setting the stop loss in the correct spot, so that you're allowing the trade to actually do what it has to do. All right. So it really depends on what type of trader you really are and what type of trader you want to become. All right. So Euro USD, guys, very interesting. Like I said, 1.0525 is what I'm gonna be looking for. Again, I am gonna fine tune these setups and send it in my Telegram so that you guys can see the opportunities I'm gonna be looking for and the setups I'm gonna be looking at going into tonight. And Euro USD will probably end up being one of them. All right, let's go take a look at GBPUSD. We haven't looked at GBPUSD all week, but it also did make that nice move to the upside. Let's take a quick look here at the bigger time frame, 4-hour time frame, and see where we're at. All right, so 4-hour time frame, guys, we are very interesting. Overall, we are still very, very, bearish, just like we are for the euro, to the downside for the pound. But we did end up breaking some very, very interesting and significant levels, right? And I would love to see more upside here for pound dollar, right? I think that we can at least see a move back up to retest around, 1.26 levels, right? So for tonight, I would really look for buying GBPUSD. That's just my personal preference. Again, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm very, very comfortable with accepting a loss if it happens. But I would be looking for more upside, right? More buy potential here for, GBPUSD, me personally, right? Maybe retesting back into, again, this 1.24 level, right? If we can get an entry back into this 1.24 level, then I feel like that really could possibly give us a good play, right? Something like right here. Let me show you guys what I'm looking for. Right, yeah, 1.24 is really where I would like to look for some buying opportunities here for GU, right? 1.24. Stops can either be below the lows down here, but I would like it probably right below this level right here. I'm just looking at this price action, right? This level of structure that was created. There's a lot of volume that was created here, a lot of volatility that ended up happening around these levels. And then I'll be targeting higher, or I'll be targeting up to around that 1.258, 1.26 level. Right, so we're talking about almost a 6-to-1 risk to reward for this specific opportunity. So that's something that I'll be looking for going into tonight as well for GBPUSD. Like I said, once I get off this stream, I really go ahead and fine tune my entries and fine tune my stop losses and stuff, and I'll set it in the telegrams. But I just want to give you guys an outlook as to what I'm looking for going into tonight. Right, so I want to see more upside from around 1.24 for GBPUSD. Let's take a look at GJ real quick. Again, GJ I know is a fan favorite, right? It's definitely one of my favorites as well. I did take a short loss earlier today, on GJ. Looking to sell, and I honestly only took a loss because my stop loss is a little bit too tight, right? So I still want to see more downside, guys, for GJ, right? We spoke about this yesterday, right? Like I still want to see this pair absolutely tank, and I still think we are going to tank for GBPJPY, right? Especially from this level of structure that we're at now, right? And just looking at the price action that we're experiencing, right? It just looks like now it's really starting to get ready to want to go ahead and fall off the face of earth, right? Like that's really what I would like to see here. All right, so for GJ as well, it's gonna be another one that I'm gonna give you guys a opportunity on, right? I'll give you guys a setup that I'm gonna be looking for, all right, to see if we can go ahead and yeah, if we can get a nice little entry on GBPJPY as well, right? But I'm still expecting more downside for GJ, right? Like I said, I'll fine tune some entries for you guys, some setups, right, and really just mark it up like I have been, and I'll give it to you guys as well, you know, hopefully before we go to bed, so that you guys can take a look at them and see pretty much what we got to offer for tonight. But overall, those are the setups that I'm interested in for tonight, guys, right? So we have probably EURUSD, GBPUSD, and GBPJPY is probably what I'm going to be leaning for, you know, going into tonight. Gold itself, if I find something for gold, it will probably be a buy opportunity, right? Just looking for a buy. I already gave you guys a few key levels for that to pay attention to, so I'm also going to probably send you guys that as well. So I'm talking about gold, Euro, USD, GBPUSD, and pound yen. GBPJPY is probably what I'm going to be looking for some setups going into tonight. All right, so that's going to be very, very interesting to see, right? Again, you know, we've been having a really, really good week so far. So I'm not going to risk much. I'm going to risk my regular 1 to 2% on each trade. All right, maybe even a little less, just because if I do take all 4 of them, then I don't want to overexpose my account, right? Like I don't want to take 4 trades and I'm risking 2% on each and I lose on all of them, and now I lost 8% in one day. That's what I don't want to do, right? You know, again, money management is extremely crucial, right? You have to be able to learn how to manage the money in your trading account so that you can be here long term. Okay, if you don't understand money management, then you're never going to see success in trading. That's just being honest. All right, let's see. Can you be more accurate and have a decent stop loss of entering on the 1 hour? Yeah, 100% you can, right? 100% you can. One thing that I want you guys to stop focusing on as well, right? And this is something that, again, a lot of people do on social media that they love really showing off is sniper entries, right? Sniper entries are cool and dope, and yeah, you know, you're going to be able to get some sniper entries at times, but you're not always going to get those sniper entries, right? You can still be very, very accurate, you know, even if a trade goes into 10 pip drawdown, right? Even if a trade goes into 20 pip drawdown, right? That's the whole point of having your stop loss in the correct spot, is to account for that drawdown, right? If a trade goes into drawdown, it's not a big deal, right? It is what it is, right? Over time, as you get better, you can really work on minimizing that drawdown. But for now, don't focus too much on trying to get a sniper entry for every single trade, right? Because that's only going to cause a lot more stress and a lot more headache for you in the long run. Okay, so don't focus too much on trying to get that sniper entry every single time, right? It's not about that. It's about getting an entry that makes sense, finding the best probable opportunity for you, right? And then just dealing with what happens to it. All right, so yeah, you could definitely get accurate entries on the 1 hour. 100% you can. All right. Hey, Abel, can you please recommend a book on risk management? That's actually a very good question. A book on risk management. If any of you guys in the chat, family, right? If any of you guys in the chat have a book based on risk management, please go ahead and drop it in the chat for me, right? Because I can't think of anything right now off the top of my head. Let's see. Let me see. Yeah, I can't really think of a book off the top of my head for risk management. In fact, I'm going to make a book now. I'm going to create a book on risk management, and I'm going to have it for you guys because that just gave me an idea. All right. I do have a very, very, very basic Forex 101 book that pretty much just really breaks down like pretty much what Forex is, right? There's not no real strategies in there or anything, but it's just a basic understanding of what Forex is, how it works, what it entails, who trades in it, and all that good stuff, guys. And the description for that is also in the bio down below if you guys want to have access to that. That is my actual book, you know, which is pretty dope. But I'm actually gonna be, you know, I'll probably put that into rotation. All right, I'll probably put that into rotation, right? A book on risk management, because that is a good question. And I personally don't really know too many good books on that. Let's see, Against the Gods. There we go. Skag said Against the Gods, right? I'm actually going to look for that my damn self. I'm going to write that down. Against the Gods. Right, and I'm going to look into that myself as well. All right, let's see. The Mental Game of Trading. That's another one I haven't heard of. Let me write that one down as well. The mental game of trading. Right. Matter of fact, I have a book as well that I was reading earlier. I've been reading lately. Let me actually show you guys. Right. So this is the book I've been reading lately. Right. Really good book right here. Right. Currency Kings. This one is dope because it really just talks about a lot of traders, successful traders of the Forex markets. And it just gives them, you know, this book gives their insight on how they were actually able to really make a fortune through trading Forex, right? It's called Currency Kings, and it talks about maybe, 20, 30 Forex traders that make billions through this market, right? So it's definitely something that I could recommend to you as well. All right, it's very, 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 very cool book. All right, so that's one book that I've been reading lately. Currency Kings is really learning more from a lot of successful traders and seeing what they got going on. So that's a dope one. Mark Douglas teaches on risk management on some of his seminars. Yeah, Mark Douglas is one of the GOATs. Right, Mark Douglas is one of the GOATs for sure. Let's see. You must also understand that risk management and money management are not the same thing. A lot of you might be looking for money management books and not actual risk management. That's true. Right, that's true. Right, so family, those are the steps I'm looking for tonight, though. You know, again, let's really go ahead and have a phenomenal night, a phenomenal trading night, and going into the morning. Again, tomorrow is Friday, so the markets are going to close tomorrow as well. Right, so depending on how your week has been, you know, just take it easy. You know, if you had a really, really great week and you hit your goals, then you shouldn't even be trading, right? I said this on last night's call. It's more important to actually be disciplined than it actually is to focus on continue making profit, right? If you had a weekly goal that you set for yourself and you hit it, then don't even trade, right? If you had a weekly amount of risk level, you know, that you set for yourself, like if you set like a specific amount of risk for every single week that you're willing to lose, and then you hit it, then don't trade, right? Like for me, guys, if I ever lose, you know, 5 to 8% in a week or any days in this week, like I'm usually done out the week, right? I'm usually done trading, right? Because clearly if I'm losing 8%, something's not working, right? I got to really either check my mindset, check my psychology, check my strategy, check what's going on, right? And then just really just take the week off and just bounce back. I had a really, really great week so far, right? Really, really good week, you know, so it's going to be, it's going to be dope to see what we come into tonight, but I'm also not going to go too crazy with it. Risking 1% and dealing with whatever we can. Let's see. YouTube, Mark Douglas, 4-part series on trading psychology. Mark Douglas, trading in the zone and the disciplined trader. Yeah, definitely, Robert. You know, those are two books that I've read numerous amount of times. Like I said, Mark Douglas is definitely one of the GOATs from a mindset perspective, right? That could really, really help you understand psychology a lot more than what you're probably doing, right? So definitely highly recommend, you know, some Mark Douglas if you guys have not done so just yet. But besides that, family, that's going to be it for today. Right, I definitely appreciate every single one of you guys. If you guys have not watched the streams all week, make sure to go to rewatch them videos because they are absolute bangers. Like I said, I'm going to be keeping my eyes on gold tonight. I'm going to keep my eyes on Euro, USD, GBPUSD, and Pound Yen as well. And if I could find some setups, or, you know, once I mark these things up the way I want to, then I'll go ahead and send them in the chat for you guys in my Telegram. If you guys are not part of my Telegram just yet, make sure to go ahead and join my Telegram. If you guys are not following me on Instagram, go ahead and follow your boy on Instagram. You know, I will follow you guys back. And if I don't follow you back, just send me a message. Tell me, yo, Abel, I'm part of Noti Gang. And I'll definitely go ahead and follow you back if you're a part of Noti Gang for sure. And I just hope we have a phenomenal night, guys, and we have a phenomenal trading morning as well, right? Because that's what it's all about. You know, just continuously getting better and just looking to improve every single chance that we get. All right, so family, I appreciate y'all. I love you guys. Another phenomenal trading week so far. And I'll see you guys. I'm actually going to be dropping another banger tomorrow. Right, every Monday and Friday, I drop a regular video, a regular trading video on YouTube. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is the live streams. Right, so remember that schedule. Every Monday and Friday is an actual video, right? Just training value. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is an actual live stream that you guys get to trade with me live just like we did tonight. All right, so I love you guys. I appreciate y'all, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video that I drop. I'm actually going to premiere it, and we can all watch the premiere of it together. Love you guys. I appreciate y'all, and I'll see you guys later. Let's get it, family.